Trying to avoid a difficult conversation with a friend or family member or coworker, you're not alone. It's a difficult thing, but avoiding it makes it even worse, doesn't it? If you want to tackle difficult conversations head on, hang on, because we're going to give you 6 constructive tips of how to handle a situation like this. It's going to be super helpful. If you don't know me, I'm Pastor Scott Thom of Cross Christian Fellowship in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm in a place to counsel people on this topic, but also in ministry, sometimes you have to have difficult conversations. So this is what I've learned. I'm going to pass it on to you. Number 1, pray for impartial wisdom. It's the golden rule, right? Treat others as you would like to be treated. Even though you may think you know everything about the situation, always extend grace. Scripture talks about this in Proverbs. So much good stuff in Proverbs. Look at this. Proverbs 13:10, it says, "By pride comes nothing but strife, but with the well-advised is wisdom." So to be well-advised is to give ear to what is going on and be open to what God may show you in the situation. So always be prayerful when you're going into these things, because oftentimes we just react, don't we? Stop, pray, think about what you're going to say, or maybe even put it off for just a bit. Another proverb gives us great wisdom. He who answers a matter before he hears it, it is folly and a shame to him. Proverbs 18:13. When you hear a matter means that before you make a judgment, you allow that person to explain themselves. And you may have seen what happened. You may know everything that did take place. But I'm telling you, even if you're 100% right, allowing that person to explain themselves gives them dignity. They're going to be far more open to what you have to say and any correction you might have to bring when they feel dignified, when they feel seen and heard. But part of seeking wisdom is checking with other people, right? Search out a matter. Again, another proverb here. It is the glory of God to conceal a matter, but the glory of kings to search out a matter. Proverbs 25:2. So seek out the matter, find out the facts before you talk to anybody else. Try to get all the information you can so you can have an informed, godly decision. And maybe we'll find out we're wrong and we need to change our approach. When you're seeking out external confirmation on what happened, try not to throw that person under the bus, right? And if there needs to be public discipline action, you can do that at a later date. But let's not ruin a person's reputation on hearsay. Get the evidence. I was seeking information on a guy who was attending a home study, and so I didn't go to the home study leader. I just asked one of the attendees, "Hey, how's it going at home study?" And they offered up what was going on there. I didn't even have to ask. And the information was confirmed and corroborated by this other couple that was going to the home study, which allowed me then to approach that person with confidence, in love, and help them in the situation. Because you want to be courteous to everyone. You want all sides to be treated fairly and appropriately. So pray for all sides. Before you go in, not pray for just wisdom, but pray for the people involved and the people whom that may touch. In Proverbs 21:1, it says, "The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, like the rivers of water. He turns it wherever he wishes." And secondly, counsel only with reputable, faithful people. This is important. Be temperate with who you are seeking to counsel with, because you don't want that information to get back to that party or to be hearsay or to be gossip. And you want somebody who's reputable, who can make wise decisions, who maybe has expertise in the area, or who is just biblically wise, or somebody who can have oversight in that area. And then they are faithful that they will keep that information private. If you can't trust them in that, ask God to bring someone else to you. Proverbs 17:9 says, "He who covers a transgression seeks love, but he who repeats a matter separates friends." The whole idea here is we don't want to taint other people's hearts either. So always couch it in love and saying, I think I have this issue with this person. I don't know. Here's the situation. What would you say? What would you counsel? What information do you have, right? Don't just destroy a person's reputation. Number 3 is to arrange the best settings to talk. Don't confront or talk to the individual when emotions are high unless there's no other avenue to do so. If we allow emotions to calm down, a lot of times just being able to share a word or two and a hug or a handshake will resolve the problem. Also, you don't want to confront in a crowd. That's not the best situation, is it? The best way to counsel the situation or to confront the situation is in private, and then only escalate it to 2 or 3, like the scripture says, and then only up the chain to the command authority when necessary. But also, don't drag it on. This is something where we say, well, I'm just going to let everything calm down, but that's key to telling ourselves that we're not going to confront the issue at all. We don't feel like we want to. It's hard to get the backbone to do that. It's hard to confront somebody on an issue where you know it's going to be a hard discussion, right? A hard conversation. And so we put it off. So let emotions drop down, but don't put off the conversation too long. Bitterness can set in, then gossip can set in. The issue can spill over to other areas of the family or business or ministry. You want to deal with it in a timely manner, but in a proper manner. Number 4 is focus on the contentions only. When I say focus on the contentions only, I mean, whatever the rift is, whatever the problem is, focus on that. Because what usually happens in difficult conversations is there's rabbit trails, right? It goes off this way, it goes off that way, and they want to bring other things in. And the problem is that you never really get down to the core issue. If that rabbit trail leads to a core issue, great. But most of the time, they're red herrings drawn across the trail to distract us from what the real issue is. So focus on the real issue. Ask them, what's the real issue here? What's your heart really saying? Why did you do that? I want to know. Tell me. And it gives them an opportunity to share that. But bring the conversation back to the real thing. Otherwise, it's just going to draw out. You resolve a small issue over to the side, but not the main issue, and it's just going to resurface again and again. So focus on the real contention of what's going on. Focus on steps for restoration. Even if you resolve the issue and the hurt feelings remain, then you're going to have other issues coming up over and over again. When I've had people in ministry or when I was serving or leading in a bookstore and managing that, I asked them, are you going to be okay when we get past this? Is there going to be something else that's going to come up? Or do you have something personally going on with me? Because if a person is accepting of you, oftentimes they'll put up with all kinds of other things that might irritate them or cause them to rebel. But they know you have their best interest at heart. They know that you have a good relationship. So they bypass those things. So make sure you're working towards resolution, including forgiveness. This is a powerful thing. When Jesus is said to be our propitiation for sin, it means not only wiping out the crime, the sin that we have, but it means getting rid of the anger, the angst, the ill feelings that are there. It means that once God forgives us, Jesus took all the wrath, he took the indignation of God, his anger, and it's subsided. There is zero anger between you and the Father. So we should do the same for people. Try to take steps to resolve issues in personality, in hurts, and in misconceptions so that the future will go well. Just to overcome the objection isn't enough. Restore the relationship, restore order, and restore the mindset that you're on the same page, that you're not enemies. And number 6, take decisive action for a repeat offender who may cause danger. This is a hard thing to do, but when you've confronted the issue, you've had a hard conversation with that person, and the issue still remains, and you've tried to resolve the issue, you've tried to restore the relationship, and they are still in a state of hard-heartedness, if you can put up with it like rebellious kids and just wait them out, great. But if it's somebody under your authority or an employee or something that's going to harm the family or the business or the ministry, you may have to reprimand them and take steps to demote them, or in business, even let them go. That's not the goal of the conversation or the goal of your heart, but if you are overseeing something as a parent or as a ministry leader or any kind of place in business or authority at school, and you're dealing with a student, you may have to take the next step for the benefit of the whole classroom, of the whole family, of the whole business or ministry. Do you understand? And because of that, it's on your shoulders to take care of that. If you're not in that position, you can just let something go, let it go, and let God deal with them. The only way to really handle difficult conversations is to practice these 6 steps. And I guarantee if you do, you're going to have far more success than if you don't. Hey, check out all these other videos that will help you navigate life from the cross. All right? This is Pastor Scott signing off. God bless. See you next week. All right.